A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant turn of events, the Australian federal government has officially abandoned its proposed crackdown on misinformation and disinformation across major tech platforms. This decision comes after Communications Minister Michelle Rowlan acknowledged the lack of support necessary to advance the legislation through the Senate. The proposal faced staunch opposition from the coalition, the Greens, and various crossbench senators, leading to its ultimate demise. Rowlan stated, based on public statements and engagements with senators, it is clear that there is no pathway to legislate this proposal through the Senate. She further emphasized the government's commitment to collaborating with parliamentarians on alternative measures to bolster democratic institutions and ensure online safety for Australians, all while upholding the fundamental principle of freedom of expression. The proposed legislation aimed to empower the Australian Communications and Media Authority, ACMA, to monitor digital platforms rigorously. It sought to mandate tech companies to maintain records regarding misinformation and disinformation circulating on their networks. Additionally, ACMA would have had the authority to approve enforceable industry codes of conduct or impose standards for social media companies should self-regulation prove inadequate. However, the Greens raised concerns about placing the responsibility for determining truth on technology companies. Senator Sarah Hanson-Young highlighted that the focus should instead be on addressing the harmful business models that enable the spread of misinformation. We've got to get back to the real problem, and that is how these companies profit off these dangerous posts, she asserted during an appearance on ABC's Insiders. Opposition communications spokesman David Coleman vehemently opposed the bill, claiming it posed a threat to free speech and could lead to the censorship of everyday Australians online. Coleman stated, this bill would have had the effect of suppressing the free speech of everyday Australians, as platforms would have censored online content to avoid the threat of big fines. He called for the government to be condemned for attempting to impose censorship laws on the nation. The federal government's decision to scrap the misinformation crackdown follows a series of objections raised by various senators, including independent representatives. The legislation was initially introduced as a means to empower federal authorities to intervene on tech platforms when damaging falsehoods surfaced, aiming to prevent significant harm from misinformation, especially in light of recent high-profile incidents, such as the misidentification of the Bondi Junction knife attacker. Despite the government's intentions, the draft law faced mounting criticism. Independent senators, including David Pocock and Jackie Lambie, expressed their disapproval, leading to a situation where even potential support from the Greens would not have been sufficient for the bill to pass. Hanson-Young confirmed her opposition to the bill, arguing that it failed to effectively tackle the deliberate spread of harmful information. She criticized the proposal for allowing media moguls and tech giants to decide what constitutes truth under vague definitions. In light of the backlash, Communications Minister Rowlan announced on Sunday that the government would not move forward with the bill, although she did not specify alternative strategies for addressing misinformation. It is incumbent on democracies to grapple with these challenges in a way that puts the interests of citizens first, she stated, reiterating the importance of safeguarding democratic values. Coleman criticized the government for not abandoning the bill earlier, citing concerns raised by the coalition regarding the role of a federal agency in determining online truth. He emphasized that democracy is inherently messy and that allowing bureaucrats to interfere with public discourse is fundamentally flawed. Democracy is messy. It can be untidy. Sometimes people say things that we wouldn't say ourselves, but that's okay. That's how we progress through proper debate, he remarked during an interview with radio station 2 Gigabytes. The misinformation legislation had sparked considerable debate since its introduction to Parliament in September, following a year of contention over draft changes. Critics, including the Law Council of Australia and civil liberties advocates, voiced concerns regarding the potential infringement on free speech. The bill did include provisions to exempt media content, ensuring that satire, parody, and religious expressions would be protected. However, many opponents fear the implications of granting ACMA oversight over social media content, with experts like University of Sydney Law Professor Emerita and Toomey warning against outsourcing censorship to foreign corporations. As the government pivots away from this controversial legislation, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is now focused on garnering Senate approval for other pressing bills, including those related to housing, education funding, and the establishment of an environmental protection agency. The abandonment of the misinformation crackdown marks a pivotal moment in Australian politics, reflecting the complexities and challenges of addressing digital misinformation while balancing the rights of citizens to free speech. As the debate continues, the government invites all parliamentarians to engage in discussions aimed at fortifying democratic institutions and ensuring the online safety of Australians in an increasingly digital world. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.